Hey class, it's Mr. Chu here. In this video, we are going to go over our final projects. So please pay attention and you can stop and pause anytime so that you can understand what you need to do so that you can get a good grade for it. Okay, so here I'm on our Google Classroom here for period 2, but if you are in period 7, it's the same thing. So let's go to our classwork tab. As you can see in our classwork tab, we have a new topic called Final Project. So let's click on that. Okay. So um, our final project here, make sure that you read the information and the step so that you understand clearly what you need to do. To sum it up, this final lesson is basically a culmination of all of the activities that you've done so far for quarter 2. Okay, so if you've been doing all your work for this quarter and you've been keeping up with your assignment and you did everything that you were supposed to do, um, this final project should be relatively easy because all you have to do is basically put it all together to create what we call a data story, on which I'm going to go over in more detail um, soon. Anyway, uh, the final assignment is worth 25% of your second quarter grade. Okay, so make sure you try your best and do a good job on it. Um, if you have questions and if you're not sure of what you are supposed to do, or if you're not sure if you're doing it right, I posted here 3 samples. Okay, here's the first sample. So the first sample is about life expectancy. Okay, the second sample is for college life. And the third sample is based on the tutorials that you've been doing with your previous lessons on movie ratings. So again, these samples are here for you as reference. If you get stuck, if you're not sure, if you're doing it right, or if you don't know what you're supposed to have in your slide presentation because that's what you're going to be doing, come back here, look at these to help you out. Before you do the activity guide, before you click on this and do what you're supposed to do, I want you to watch this video first. Okay? The video is only 4 minutes long. The video helped to explain how we can use data to tell story. It's a great video, okay? And it points out uh, how essential it is to tell story by collecting data, by analyzing data, and using data in a way to make sense of data and to tell a story from that data. So please watch it. Once you finish watching the video, then click on the activity guide, the Unit 2 Lesson 10 activity guide, the data story project. Okay, so overview. You have learned a lot of different things you can do with data, like cleaning it, making visualizations, and obtaining it. Now you will use all the skills that you've learned to pull everything together in your data story based on the topic that was assigned to you. So those topics are life expectancy, Twitter, NBA, MMA, college life, college ranking, crime. So those are all the topics. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you did not do week 13 assignment. All of those topic and the data set for all of those topic can be found on your week 13 activity guide called Meet Your Data Set. So for this final project, you will produce a Google slide similar to PowerPoint presentation where you will tell a data story. This project guides you through creating each slide for your presentation. Feel free to be creative in your presentation using different slide templates and pictures for it. Okay, and it says you will present your data story using these slides to your teacher and classmate. Now, because we don't have enough time, because the quarter will be closing in less than 2 weeks, we will not be presenting it. Yay for you guys. So all I'm asking you to do for this final project is to create the Google slide presentation. Okay, your Google slide presentation will have about 12 slides. And to do it, all you need to do is just follow these project steps, starting with step 1. So for step 1, all you need to do is type the name of your topic: NBA, MMA, life expectancy, college life, college ranking, life expectancy, Twitter, crime. Write the name of that topic and then the big question that you chose back on week 13. Step 2. For step 2, you need to answer some questions about cleaning your data. Okay? So if you don't know um, what I mean by this, or if you have no idea what the question is asking you or how to answer this question, it could mean that you did not do one of the assignment, and the assignment is, I believe it's week 15. Nope, not week 15. It is, I'll find it here. Let's see, week 7. Not summary table. Nope, not that week either. Not that week either. Week 14. So in week 14, okay, your the lesson was lesson 5. It's called cleaning data. So in one of the assignment, you had to clean your own data. Okay. The lesson is about um, what do you call constraint? Okay. There's a slide deck for it. Okay, and on that slide deck, starting on slide number 8, okay, we found out what constraints are, and basically they are error or mistakes in your data set. And you found out that as a data scientist, when we're looking at data, sometimes there are errors in our data, and we call these error constraint. And there are ways that we can fix these constraint. We can either change it or we can remove it. And there are different types of constraint, and all of these slide talks about that. Okay, so that's what that lesson was about. So for step 2, they're asking you question: did you find any constraint in your data? Now this question is specifically asking you, did you find any constraint in your survey data? Okay, the reason why they ask, so the question is for the data that you collected, okay, from week 18 in lesson 9, okay, which only 2 of you did. So if you didn't do lesson 9, or if you didn't have anybody taking your surveys, therefore you don't have enough survey to look at to see if there's any constraint, then ignore the survey data. Just answer the question based on your original data. MMA, NBA, crime, life expectancy, so forth. Did you find any constraint in those data? And how did you check for those constraints in your data? What did you use? Did you filter? Did you sort? Did you search for it? Did you use, or did you just, you look for it with your eyes? How did you find these constraints? Okay. Um, what did you check? And questions asking you here, what data item did you find in your survey data? Basically, it's asking you what type of constraint did you find. So again, if you're not sure, okay, go back to week 14, which is the assignment about cleaning data. Click on the the slide deck, and again right here, and starting on slide number 8, it shows you tells you about the different type of constraint or different type of error in data. Here is a data type constraint, range constraint. If you did this lesson, then just use the answer that you wrote on your activity guide for this lesson and you're good to go. But if you didn't do this lesson, you will need to refer back to this slide deck starting at slide 8 so you can understand what constraints are, and you will need to open up your original data set, the Google Sheet. You will need to open up that file, which you will find on week 13, so you can see if there's any constraint in your data, and if there are, what type of constraint. Is it a data type constraint? Is it a range constraint? Is it a mandatory constraint? Format constraint? What type of constraint or what type of mistake did you find? Okay, and then you put that right here. How did you fix it? Did you remove it? Did you change it? What did you do? Okay, again, that was from week 14. Okay, so for step 2, even though the question is asking you, did you find any constraint in your survey data? I realize that most of you did not finish this assignment, or if you did finish it, you probably didn't have enough people taking your survey, so you don't have that data, a good enough sample size data to really look at to find any constraint. So just use your original data set. You could also use the data set that you found um, from week 18, lesson 8. Okay, so lesson 8, it asks you, and that was last week's assignment, it asks you to find another data set, okay, not your original data set, another data set that is related to your topic. So if you're doing NBA, you need to go and find another data set on NBA, okay? So here's the assignment. Okay, but if you didn't do this assignment and you didn't do lesson 8 and lesson 9, which was last week's work, then for step 2, you will need to use your data set. Okay, college life, FIFA, that data set. And if you wondering where you can find that data set, okay, because if you didn't make a copy it to your Google Drive, it's in week 13. Go to week 13 and open up the activity guide for week 13. And then if you open up that activity guide and scroll down, here are all the topics, and here is that data set along with the README file that gives you a description of what that data set is all about. Close. Okay, so now that's step 2. Step 3, data visualization. You must create at least 2 more encouraged meaningful visualization for each of these 2 data sets. So for step 2, you need to provide visualization, okay? Charts, basically, okay? Charts that you created. Those are visualization that are meaningful, that will help to answer your big question, okay? So again, let me go back to Google Classroom here. If you've been keeping up with your work, that was from week, nope, week 17. Yep. So that was from week 17. If you did the work for week 17, you should have this already. And all you have to do is just take the screen, go get that screenshot and put that here. Okay? So the first one you need, so you need to put the screenshot for all the visualization that you created, for all the chart that you created from your primary data set, from your original data set. Okay? So NBA, MMA, FIFA, crime, life expectancy, Twitter. So if you did that lesson, you should have created 3 visuals, 3 charts, your scatter chart, your line chart, your bar chart. So put all those charts here. Okay, the screenshot of those charts here. And then for the second box, you need to take a screenshot of a visualization of a chart that you created from your survey data. Now, if you did not do the survey, then the best thing that I can, suggest is, excuse me, is to go to week 18, is to go find another data set, and that's what lesson 8 is all about. Use Google, use GitHub.com, and find another data set on your topic, okay? And then once you find that data set, open up on Google Sheet, and then create a chart. Make sure you create a chart, a visual, any type of chart that will help to answer your big question, and then paste a screenshot of your chart there. Step 4, summary table. For step 4, you need to create a summary table. You need to have at least one summary table from your original data set. So if you did lesson, I believe that was lesson 17. Nope, I'm wrong again. Lesson 16. Yes. If you did lesson 16, just take a screenshot of the summary table you created from lesson 16, put that here. And then it asks you to also create a summary table for your survey data set. So if you did lesson 9, but if you don't have enough data, enough people taking your survey, then again, create a summary table from the data set that you found from lesson 8. So that you found from github.com or using Google to search for it. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, then step 5. Basically, you need to copy and paste the URL to your data set and put it here. So the first one, the URL to your original data set. And then the second one, the URL to the data set either from your survey or the data set from lesson 8, where you found on GitHub, Google, or some other data repository site. Okay, if you did this lesson, then you should already have that link down here somewhere. I think it was, I guess not. So you're gonna have to go and copy that link. Um, just as a reminder, when you copy the link to your data set, so let me just show you one example here, because a lot of time I've been clicking on the link that you guys put in your activity guide and I can't access it. So to make sure that I can access your file, I just want to walk you through these steps. So to get the link, obviously you open up the file, you click on the share button here, and most important, you need to make sure down here you change the access to anyone with the link. Okay, I think most of you have it set on this right here. Okay, anyone in this group with the link can view. So you need to make sure that you change it to anyone with the link. Okay, and then copy that link. Okay, so make sure you do that so that I can access your file. Okay, and then obviously copy that link. Okay, and then put it here. Again, one link for your original data set, your college life, your crime, your life expectancy, so forth and so on. And then this one is the link to your external data set, your other data set that you found from Google, from GitHub, from other data repository, or if you have enough people taking your survey, if you did lesson 9, the link to that data set. Once you have all of that, you need to create your Google slide that put everything together. Okay, so step 6, present your data story. Create a presentation of your data story in Google Slide. So click on that link to Google Slide. Okay, and click on blank to create a new slide presentation. They start you off with a title slide, and you can change the theme, the design, the pretty stuff if you want. Okay, and just a quick overview here. They start you off with one slide, your title slide, where you can put the title of your presentation and your name. To get more slides, you go to the top left here, and next to the plus sign, you can click on the drop down arrow and decide which layout you want for your next slide. So maybe a title and a body for the next one. So that's how you would add a new slide. And then you just click and type in what you want to type in, or insert pictures and images and things like that. So that's how you would do that. And make sure in here you change it to your name. So my name would be Chu. And then the topic of your presentation. So maybe college life. Okay, that's how I want you to name your presentation. So your name underscore and then the name of your topic. Okay, so done. Um, so for step 6, you're creating a slide presentation using Google Slide, and here's a link to one of the example on movie rating. So to help you, if you're not sure if you're doing it right, to make sure you do it right, you need to make sure that you have a slide for each of these. Okay, so just follow the steps. So for number 1, you need a title slide with your name and your big question. Just like, let me go to the final project topic here. Just like this one here, this example here. Here's your big question and your name. 2, an outline slide with the major topic of your presentation. So basically a table of contents slide. So here's an example, outline, and so an outline of all the other slides that you have. So the next slide would be our primary data set. Here's our primary data set, your original data set, and information about that data set. Okay, you don't need this one since we didn't do this lesson. Survey data set. So if you didn't do a survey data set, then maybe your external data set, your other data set. Okay. So just follow this example here. Just go through line by line. 1, did I do this? Check. Did I do that? Check. Then this one, check. This one, check. Summary table, a slide. So number 6, it says a slide on how you obtain data with your survey. So for number 6, you can either put a slide about the data that you obtained from your survey, or a slide about the data that you obtain from searching using Google, using a data repository, or some other site. So you can put that there. A slide about how you clean your data set, a slide with visualization that you created. Okay. So it looks like here, step number 10, you won't be able to do this because we didn't do this lesson, so you can skip that. So it looks like you'll probably have about 10 to 11 slides because you're going to have to skip this one because we didn't do this lesson. We had to skip because of time. You probably might have to skip this one since a lot of you did not do that lesson. But all the other one you should be able to do. Once you finish creating your slide, and it should look something like this. Okay, so again, refer to the example. Then you need to copy the URL and paste it here. And again, make sure that you change the access to anyone who has the link so I can see it. Well, that's all for now. Make sure you try to work on this the next couple of days before you come back to in-person learning. Write down any question that you may have so that when you come back, when I see you, I can help you out. And if you're not in class, send me an email, message me in GoGuardian, or post a message on Google Classroom so I can help you out because this is a big part of your grade. Take care, and I'll see you back in person. Bye-bye for now.